From the Pixie Dust Studio in Minneapolis, Minnesota, welcome to the I See Hope, Empowering Positive Change podcast. I am Lori Lorenz, Human Energy Engineer, and your host for today's episode, Destiny Updates with Wes Hamilton. We are talking about mastering your power during COVID-19. Our co-host and featured speaker today is Wes Hamilton, Master Numerologist and Chief Spiritual Officer for Core Passion, Inc. He provides insight, guidance, and spiritual support. He reveals how ancient mathematics connects to timelines, showing us where and when to focus our time and energy. Welcome, Wes.
Welcome. Thank you. It's fun to be connecting again, getting ready for our new month here in August. It's always fun to experience new energy.
Yes, July had a lot of messages. It was all about intuition, right?
Oh, I'll tell you, if people didn't pay attention to that, they're going to miss out, because with all the fake news we're enjoying, intuition's got a better handle on being right. So if you can practice your intuition while you're learning about claiming and mastering your power, you'll have a much better month than most people.
Yes. So there's a lot to look forward to in August. And, July, I noticed my stuck spots more because my intuition was saying, oh, wait a minute, pay attention to this. This is something you need to deal with, work with, or might have something for you. So there's unpacking a stuck spot. How do you do that?
Yeah, and I've been noticing through July, when I send out a request to meet more people or learn more things, all of a sudden I'll get introduced to a person who knows a person, and then I get to do a podcast somewhere around the United States. And then the other day, I was in my office where I'm now, and one of my cards fell off of the wall. This one.
Nice.
And landed in front of me. So I thought, well, what's my intuition say about that? I wasn't getting any hits. So I sent a text to Ann Pryor. She's the one who does the Lovitude paintings, and that's one of her drawings. And I said, all right, here's what happened. Any insights? And she said, well, it's about feeling supported and guided and knowing you're in the right place. And she says, that resonate? I said, yep, seems to. So that was a little note from the universe that keep on trucking, it's working.
Excellent. So first you have intuition of, I need to talk to someone or ask. And then you got the receiving part. And then it was like, am I doing the right thing? And then bam, here comes some more information for you, right?
It really does. And what I'm seeing is with August energy is all about being connected up to who you are. And that means we've got to have our physical being quiet enough, present enough, our mental mind clear enough, our emotional body free enough to trust, and then our spiritual body hooked up to that intuition. And the more we get those alignments made, the more ability you have to manage and master your power from within.
Wow. That's just amazing, because I heard a bunch more pieces, right? So we were talking about alignment. So we've got physical, right? Just, being present in your body. We've got emotional, allowing and trusting, right? And then we have mental, remembering to ask, things like that.
Yeah, clear and receptive. That's the part.
Receptive. And then spiritual, which is the whole intuition piece, right?
Right.
So that's a lot to line up all at once.
Oh.
So how do you do that, Wes? How do you do all of those things that tend to go in all sorts of different directions, all kind of pulling together?
Well, it's something you have to be very mindful of. Most of the time during the day, we are busy trying to be productive, and productive happens when you're not so busy. So I just got off of a coaching call with a lady that's running a large corporation, and so many projects going on, and so scattered and so overwhelmed. And oh my gosh, now what do I do? And so we just did a little exercise about calming her down, looking at her wish list of what she'd like to do. And then we looked at her feelings of, and she had sent me a list of like a dozen feelings she was trying to get to. So we were able to identify the feelings she wanted weren't happening while she was busy. So we took a little break and got a little more mindful, and she actually had to wait for those feelings to show up, and we had to take her back to a place where she had those feelings once and twice, and it worked like a miracle. It's like she was able to take back and master her power.
Wow, that's impressive. So mindfulness works.
It really does. And we talked about the Book of Joy that was written in 2016 by the Dalai Lama and Archbishop Desmond Tutu. And I recommended she read that book. It's quite a big one. So with her busy schedule, hopefully they've got it on audio so she can listen to it when she drives. I don't know. But yeah, this busyness is kind of wearing us out. And I listened to a podcast the other day that actually was a Facebook Live that one of the local psychics, Shanda Parkinson, was doing. And she brought up something that I wasn't aware of, that for the last several hundred years, maybe more, we have been very busy working on manifesting earth things. You know, money and land and success and all that, which is amazing. And as of March, we move from earth to air. And so now for the next couple hundred years, we're dealing with something different that we're mastering. Now, numerology talks about it as becoming more humanitarian. That started in 2017. And of course, in March of this year, we started breaking down old structures that weren't working anymore, kind of like the Twin Towers, only this was internal, that was external. Makes more sense. And what Shanda was saying is we're having trouble breathing right now.
Mm.
And there's a lot of pollen in the air, which you're very well of. And we got George Floyd, who gave the 9-minute eulogy for I Can't Breathe. But it's interesting. If we shift our perspective into our thoughts and our feelings of a greater purpose, or the air energy, which deals with our thoughts, what's that going to look like for the next several years? What's that going to look like the rest of this year? And this power thing that August is offering us is to master that. And of course, we master it by getting aligned and centered and grounded and mindful.
Wow,
And
that's a big shift. That's
you,
huge.
yeah, as you well know, I'm an advocate and a trainer of meditation, and that's my secret sauce. I think if everybody could find some form of meditation to quiet themselves down and get connected to that inner core of themselves, that spirit that runs around the universe and sometimes shows up inside of us, that's going to be a great tool to harness your power.
In fact, we were talking about this. That's something that you could put together for us for a freebie for August, right?
Meditation?
Yes, please.
Well, yes, of course, I will do that and put that together. It's a little mindful meditation.
Yes, and can I put a request in the bucket for when you do it as to aligning our mental, emotional, mind, and spiritual bodies?
Yes, it'll be a 4-step process.
Yay! Sign me up, Wes. I want one.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. We should do that. We talked about it, I guess, Let's do it.
Yes. And that will help all of us master our own power, because feeling it for the first time, if you've never been in alignment, that's like a big click. And all of a sudden, everything is more clear, right?
Yeah. And what it feels like in everyday talk is confidence. And it's confidence without an ego, because that's that inner confidence. That's not boastful confidence, that's alignment confidence. So if you can remember a time in your life where you felt really confident that you were doing the right thing at the right time, that's the feeling you're looking for.
We always talk about different kinds of power. There's the old school power over, do what I said because I said so. And then there's the power with, let's get this done together, so it's empowering people together. So when
Yeah,
you
and
say,
this kind of power that we're working with in August is an intention power, not a goal power. Yes, we do want to achieve it. That's our goal. But goals you got to kind of work at, and this one you allow. So it's an inside out process. That's why the meditation is so good with getting us more connected to who we are. This connection thing is huge, and when people aren't connected, they're just all over the place.
that can be really messy.
Yeah. Yes, the people that I do work with and coach them and get them to realize that power is from within, and you quit having anxiety, you quit having forgetful moments because you're connected to who you are and what you're doing. It's
Nice.
powerful.
So let's say I've done my meditation, I'm aligned up, I'm doing my mindfulness to stay in the moment. And I realize, oh my goodness, I've got to make some changes to be able to keep this going. How in the world am I going to make changes that stick, Wes?
Well, now you're talking about my new favorite subject, pivot. Pivot is going to be the catchword for the next at least 18 months. We're used to walking the straight line, keeping our nose to the grindstone, one step ahead of the other, and that sort of thing. But this new energy that's coming in, that's shaking up our world globally, this bug that nobody can see, they just feel it. It's causing us to change our mindset from endurance and forward motion to pivot first, because so many people that I've talked to are waiting for this to get over. So many people just are lost, don't know what to do. And if you're going to master your power, you must learn how to pivot. And most people think about pivoting, oh yeah, I've seen that in basketball. That's where you dribbled and got close and now you're blocked in by the other team. And what do? You keep pivoting. And I actually watched some basketball the other day to see the art and science of pivoting. And you keep one foot in place. You can't move that or you get disqualified. So you got to stay where you are. And that's not running and hiding. It's more about staying grounded and mindful that we're talking about. And if you can be grounded and mindful, clear, and connected to your higher self, inner self, that's the art of pivoting.
Mm-hmm. And a pivot doesn't have to be huge, right? Just enough.
There are 3 tweaks, turns, and twists. The 3 secrets of pivoting: tweak, turn, twist. So, yeah, you don't have to change your whole line of business. Some people will. That's complete turn. I talked to a company last month that was stuck, just like, oh my God, what do we do? And so the 2 partners each got a reading, and it said, well, you got to do some mindset shifting. And they said, well, what would that look like? We put on outdoor events. Well, you're going to have to do some research on what that looks like now with no big events, 20 people or more is not recommended anymore. So coincidentally, I think it was a few weeks, maybe a week later, I happened to work with another company that had figured out digital and bringing people together. And they had actually tripled their sales from their outdoor events. So those people saw the pivot coming early. I referred them to the previous clients, so we'll see if they make their pivot. But we got to look at things differently. We need to stand in another pair of shoes. We need to look at things differently from different points of view. And if we can get clear where that one foot stays stuck to the floor, if we can stay clear on who we are, that is one of the biggest secrets. That's why so many people are looking for guidance right now with readings in our core passion assessment.
I heard a really good question for this time period. This is actually one of the ones that's coming up for your intentional continuity.
Okay.
When you're clear and you said your foot is stuck in a spot, I think this question sums it up. Am I standing up for my own truth? And this is so true right now when we're looking into civil rights and we're looking into honoring and respecting each other and things like that. So are you in your own truth?
Yeah, that's that confidence thing. Are you confident enough to speak your truth?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good question to ask yourself. Am I confident enough today to speak my truth?
Yes. And if you're not, listen to an alignment meditation, right?
Right.
And
right. Check your
piece,
numerology to see who you are.
Yes. Another piece you can do is we've been doing these journal pages.
Yes.
As a freebie, and we ask a really good question and do a card draw, and then people can journal about how that fits into their life or what they see going on.
Yes.
And a really good question for August is, what do I need to know about mastering my power?
That's the question everybody should be asking.
Yes.
And what are the cards telling us today?
The cards are, the first one is your environment card. What's going on right now that is causing you to ask this question? And it is called Bringing Order. It's a form card. And remember, we talked about being out of alignment as being messy? Yes. So
yeah, form card says we need to get a new form. It's from the inside out right now, not the outside in. We need to have form used in a different way. It's alignment this year.
Yes. And the next card is action. How in the world do we take care of the environment that's so messy right now?
Yeah.
And the answer is mastership, solving problems. So these are your tweaks, twists, and turns, right?
Yeah. Yes. Isn't that the power card?
This one was, is this, yeah, you're right. That's power. Excuse me, all the pieces.
Yeah.
That's even better. This is all about power, isn't it?
You got to take your power back. You got to manage your power. Yeah, you got to master it. And that's the key. That card is so perfect because that's what August is all about.
Yes. And this card also is a free to solve your problem card. So this makes it even more possible. So when you're in that power, you do get to solve your problems. It's not a will I, it's go for it.
What direction is that? Is that a West card?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, the West cards are always about your hopes and fears and dreams and do I dare? And if I do, I know it's going to be amazing, but that's scary. And so, yeah, this power thing is interesting.
Yes, you'll feel it. And when you do all that, the result is partnership, sensitive to others' feelings.
Well, that makes sense because we're trying to learn how to be more humanitarian and work with each other, not not all about us winning and them losing. So right now our world's a little bit divided, especially with our political leadership team in this country and other countries. But I think we're going to come back together again. We've had some good signs. The Native Americans believe that when a white buffalo calf shows up, that's the sign of peace on earth. And we just had one born a couple months ago.
Yay.
So the white buffalo has arrived, which means good news is coming. And then there was an alignment of the planet over, or directly in alignment with the three major pyramids in Egypt. And those were aligning this week. So when you look at the subtle signs from the spirit world, we do have good news on the way, and it's time for us to take back our power and master it.
Yes, be responsible for it. Become humans with spirit.
Yes.
Nice. So these 3 cards and the descriptions will be another bonus. So when you sign up for the newsletter, you'll get the journal page and a link to the meditation. And then this whole pivot thing. We need to know more about that, Wes. How in the world are we going to do this?
Well, we have taken this seriously. Laurie and I, along with your brilliance of making it digital, are creating a program for people to pivot, because not all of us are basketball players, and we need to learn the art and science of basketball in our everyday life. So we have created a Pivot Your Destiny program, and it will be live very soon. In fact, watch for different little videos and so forth as we introduce it to the world. It's really exciting. And we've narrowed it down to a 5-stage process that as you go through the 5 stages, you develop that confidence that we talk about. I think that's stage 2. And in stage 3, you start to express that confidence and ask the universe and people in your environment for what you want, to get clear on it. So as you go through this 5-stage program, you're going to reinvent yourself. And the pivot part of it is you got to stay true to who you are. You don't become someone else because they look like they're successful. You become connected to you, and you will be successful. So this Pivot Your Destiny thing is a life changer. And we're going to be using this full time for the next, I see 18 months. My numbers tell me next year is going to be just as tricky as this year.
I see 18 months. But
Siri agrees with you.
Siri turned on and said she agrees. Funny. Thanks, Siri. I love technology. Who says they're not listening 24/7?
Well, things fall off your desk talks to you, you have some built-in feedback right where you work.
Oh my God, I've got my team right here.
Oh, that's funny. All right, so to sum this one up, we're going to first align with our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual parts of ourselves, right?
Correct.
Get that click of, ooh, yes, I feel it. And then we'll use mindfulness and meditation either to find it or to stay with it, right?
Yeah, you need the meditation to find it, to get the alignment, and the mindfulness to stay present as you pivot.
I like it. Present while pivoting. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's huge. Because if you don't have your balance and if you don't have that centering, you'll fall over.
I know. And it's going to be important to decide which foot you want to hold in place.
Yes, that's your personal truth, right?
That's your personal truth. Yeah. Are you a lefty or a righty?
Well, I want to be ambidextrous, Wes. I want to go either direction.
Pivot with both feet, huh? Okay.
Well, no, I want to have a choice. So which one will work, where the flow is going. I want to go with the flow. So
Okay.
I like that. And it sounds too like we're going to be able to connect to each other when we're in our personal power in a healthier way?
We will. And one of the things that's coming forth as we move into this new higher vibration is community and collaborative community. And in our process to learn how to build community in a collaborative fashion, as we're learning to pivot, Lori and I have been lucky enough to find a mentor that has been teaching us amazing skills. And he has put us in touch with people from all over the world. We get to go into little chat rooms and talk about what's going on in Ireland, and what about South Africa? What about England? And, you know, we're all a little bit different in what we're doing, but that feeling of, hey, you're just like me. You're working on the same thing as I am. Man, do we get connected to people quickly that way?
Yes, you have common ground.
Common grounds.
That's
Yep.
right.
And some of it's made out of coffee.
Well, you know, in a virtual universe, you can have whatever you want.
That's right.
And actually, that kind of translates into our actual universe. All we have to do is ask. And if we ask from a place, you know, of that allowingness, you know, when you're allowing your power, that really cranks up your intentions and your intuition.
Well, once you get to the spot of mastering your power, that's one of the best rewards. Learning to ask and knowing it's coming.
Yay.
It's really amazing. And this last week or two, I've been working on understanding our dream world. And actually, when I wake up at 3, 4 in the morning, first of all, to go to the bathroom, I'm still happy that I wake up for that. But I'm learning about lucid dreaming. And one of the theories are that we're all living in a dream. And this dream is an illusion. And if we want to change our dream, we change it and create a new dream. And in today's world, we call that an intention. And that's the best way to create your new dream, is to start to get a feeling of what that dream will bring. And then what's that visual? So this intentional work is powerful. The mastering your power is the key to making these other things work. So it's going to be a fun fall.
Yes. And
fall.
I'm going to practice this a lot, because I find the piece that's holding me back is when my power just dissipates and I can't move. I'm just stuck. I'm going, what do I do? What do I do? I don't even know what words to put on a page anymore. And I'm used to being able to write. So that is a sign to me that my personal power has left the building, and it's time to reset my buttons.
Yep. When those things happen, and thankfully they don't happen too often, but when they do, I immediately stop working and go for a walk or sit out on my deck and watch the trees dance in the wind, or I go meditate, because to me that means my spirit has gotten bored. It doesn't want to work anymore. I have to go out and find it. So yes, those are good little reminders. When the lights go off on your creativity, get away from the computer.
Yes. I so get it, because sometimes people keep pushing harder and harder and yelling at their computer, and all it does is make it worse and worse and worse.
Yeah. Well, you and I are on our second Zoom call. The first one, the internet wouldn't work yesterday. And then this morning when we tried earlier, my laptop, which we usually use, said, no, not today. I'm not working. So we had to get upstairs in not my therapy office, my creativity office, and my mystical magical office is downstairs where we normally do it. So technology is not always ready, willing, and able to work with us.
But that's what the twists and the tweaks and the turns are for.
We certainly twisted and tweaked this morning.
Yes. And I know about, I know multiple ways to solve a problem when it comes to technology.
You do.
So I'll help you with that part. And you know multiple ways to help us with alignment. And you can give us those tools.
Yes. Yeah. Together we'll help the world be a better, happy place.
Sign me up. I want to do that. All right. Well, Wes, we've had a really powerful podcast this time.
Yeah, I liked it. Amazing. And I love those cards, that middle one being power, that action thing.
Yes, the solving
problems. Power.
We were doing that today.
We can't make this up.
No, and we choose not to make anything up. This is something where, you can have the dream, right? Tell yourself a story, but then when you seat yourself in your own truth, then you start getting the intuitive hits about, oh, this is what's really going on.
Yep. I tell you, that intuition, no fake news there.
Excellent. Well, everybody, please sign up for the newsletter so that I can give you all these freebies about seeing hope with positive change. And I wish all of you an easy path to finding your personal power.
There you go. Hang in there. August is going to be a fun one.
Okay. Thank you so much, Wes.
All right. Bye.
You have been listening to the I See Hope podcast. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio. Visit us online at iseehope.world, where you can subscribe to our podcast, our newsletter, read blog articles, and so much more.